thank you for joining us for the 13th Annual State of the City. This event is put on by the El Segundo Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce is the voice for business. The business community said they want sun. The Chamber delivered. Okay, just a little housekeeping. Bathrooms right out the door as you came in. And if you could take out your electronic device, your cell phones, whatever you use, put it on mute or turn it off, that would be greatly appreciated. If it happens to go off during the meeting, we will ask that you put it on speaker and we will all partake in the conversation. This event provides a wonderful opportunity to bring together our business community and the City of El Segundo to share important updates, progress, and our plans to flourish. This has been said before, but truly worth repeating. But did you know that more than half the satellites and vehicles in space have been manufactured in El Segundo? Did you know that more people work at El Segundo's three largest employers, Boeing, Northrop Grumman, and Raytheon, than live in the community? Did you know that more Fortune 500 companies are headquartered in El Segundo than any other city in California except San Francisco? And did you know that El Segundo was home to the world's largest automobile maker? It's not Toyota, not General Motors. How about Mattel? Mattel builds more toy cars than any other automaker. And I can see the faces of the city council just brewing right now, just saying, we got to find a way to tax those cars. We got to find a way to tax those cars. If you scan a map of the Southland, you won't find a city quite like El Segundo. With its east side bustling business mecca, with a daytime workforce exceeding 70,000 employees, to west of Sepulveda with its quiet, charming residential neighborhoods and a quaint downtown. The winning combination of pro-business and family first truly makes El Segundo the place to live, work, and play. Will you please join me by standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Mayor Pro Tem Carl Jacobson, and remain standing for the singing of the national anthem by the El Segundo High School Chamber Choir, and then our invocation.
Thank you. Will you please join with me? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets now say, can you see? Oh, say, can you see through the night that our flag was still there? Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That's right, that's our El Segundo High School Chamber Choir. Thanks for keeping arts in our education. And for our invocation today, it's my pleasure to introduce Father Alexei Smith from El Segundo St. Andrew's Russian Greek Catholic Church. I promise, no lightning.
No lightning? Whatever's comfortable. This is El Segundo. And we're at the beach, right? Let us pray. By what name shall I call you, you who are beyond all names? What hymn can sing your praises, or what word tell your truth? No mind can probe your secret, no intelligence comprehends you. All that is spoken proceeds from you, but you remain beyond the reach of speech. All that is thought stems from you, but you are beyond the power of thoughts. All things proclaim you, the mute and those with the power of speech. All things celebrate you, the unconscious and those endowed with consciousness. All who know how to interpret the world you have created, sing to you a hymn of praise. And thus today, we render thanks and appreciation to you for our city. Watch over it, so that both our residents and those engaged in the commercial sector may enjoy prosperity, security, and peace. We pray also for those who serve in public office, for our mayor, the members of our city council, members of the school board, as well as for the members of our police and fire departments, Chamber of Commerce, and various commissions. Watch over all our public officials and guide them. Send them your loving spirit, that they may ever strive to manifest the greater good of all those who live and labor here. Today, in particular, we render thanks for the gift of Julia Abreu Mason, whose untimely passing we mourn. She embodied all that it means to live and work in and for our city. She enriched our lives here, and hopefully we in turn enriched hers. Grant her a place of light, happiness, and peace. Enable all of us to strive for what is right and just, and to use wisely the gift of El Segundo, which you have so generously entrusted to us, following the wonderful example that Julia set for us all. Amen.
Thanks to the power of the podium, you may now be seated. Thank you, Father Alexei. It's now my honor to introduce some special guests with us today. Clap as you wish, but rest assured those hearing their names will certainly be paying attention to the intensity of your applause. Lesson learned in Popularity 101. So with us today is El Segundo Mayor Bill Fisher. El Segundo Mayor Pro Tem Carl Jacobson. El Segundo Council Member Suzanne Fuentes. El Segundo Council Member Dave Atkinson. El Segundo Council Member Marie Fellauer. El Segundo City Clerk Tracy Weaver. And she's from the South, so I needed to make sure she's following along with the program. The president of the El Segundo School Board of Education, Laura Gable. El Segundo Board of Education member, Dr. Bill Watkins. El Segundo Unified School District Superintendent, Dr. Jeff Yance. El Segundo City Manager, Greg Carpenter. El Segundo Chief of Police, Mitch Tavera. Joey Apodaca, representing Congressman Harry Waxman. I like that name, Joey. That's my Starbucks name. The guy with those certificates and is always available, worthy for framing, Robert Pullen Miles. He is... He thinks he's still running for election. He's the council member of Lawndale and representing State Senator Ted Liu's office. Myla Ryman, representing Assembly Member Stephen Bradford. And every woman is here, secret man crush, Steve Napolitano. He's the deputy for LA County Supervisor Don Canavi. Seriously, trust me, Steve. These women chatter. Forget the earringing you've had constant for the years. Yours should be bleeding by now. Celebrating her half birthday for the first of 4 times this year. She says they're important at her age, and her husband is well trained in buying gifts. One smart lady, Sandy Jacobs, El Segundo Chamber of Commerce Chair of the Board. And Malcolm Au, President of the El Segundo High School ASB. Before we start the buffet lunch, we have a special treat for you. Please welcome back the El Segundo High School Chamber Choir with a song written in 1914 Some of you might remember it by looking around the room, by Harry Grant. It's called El Segundo by the Sea.
Meet a lot of tourists who visit us each year, who come from almost any town you name. They spend a balmy winter and return when spring draws near, then wish that they were back with us again. In El Segundo, your brand new town, El Segundo of great renown, where people flock from snowbound climes and where the sun shines brightly all the time. Boys making love to girlies fair, where joy and contentment fill the air. Oh, say, can you see a better town the whole world round than El Segundo by the sea? Our visitors tell us each year we long for home sweet home. They say our thoughts are with the east each day. But all I say is that a man can have but one real home, and that is why they always come this way. To El Segundo, you brand new town, El Segundo of great renown, where people flock from snowbound climes and where the sun shines brightly all the time. Boys making love to girlies fair, where joy and contentment fill the air. Oh, say, can you see a better town the whole world round than El Segundo by the sea?
And now it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker today. I'd like to introduce our mayor, Bill Fisher. But before I do, he was nervous when he found out he had to speak today. He said, "Joe, what if they boo me?" I said, "Don't be silly, Bill. People can't boo and yawn at the same time." I'll begin by telling you what a remarkable person the mayor is. Then I'll describe all the wonderful things he's done for the community. And I'll conclude by saying some things that are true. Okay, you can relax now, Bill. It's all good from this point on. Seriously, folks, aside from his work on council, Bill Fisher is the principal and lead engineer at Fisher Engineering Incorporated. A reasonably long time ago, Bill received his Bachelor of Science degree in engineering from Texas A&M University. He is an Aggie, and he is depressed that John Manziel is going pro. I have no idea what that means. His first employment was with Boeing in Seattle, where he and his engineering group were responsible for the oversight and development of avionic control software for the 737 and 757 Boeing jetliners. In the past 30 years, Bill has taken his engineering acumen and applied it to business solutions, developing and creating new technology for business operations and accounting. That's politically written. He has started in true entrepreneurial fashion companies with the technology he developed. He was chief technology officer and founding partner of a company in the medical industry, where he developed technology unseen in the industry and grew the company to over 100 employees. He was a partner, chief financial and operating officer of a small record company in Los Angeles, applying operational and accounting technologies to aid in bottom line savings. He has designed solutions for companies in Los Angeles County and around the country. He understands the real world challenges, both fiscally and operational, of starting and building business. And I quote from Bill, "When you are the owner and the buck stops with you to meet payroll, you learn quickly how to react, innovate, and streamline, in addition to competing and marketing your enterprise. I think everyone should be a small business owner sometime in their lives. It gives you a perspective, whether you succeed or fail, that you can't gain anywhere else. Of course, succeeding is always better." Bill first came on the council in 2006, was re-elected in 2010. Prior to and during his work on council, Bill has been active and held many leadership roles in the El Segundo community. He is past president of the El Segundo Kiwanis Club. He is past treasurer and executive board member of the Chamber of Commerce, past corporate giving chair and board member of the El Segundo Education Foundation, and founding member of the organization, you ready for this? Communities United Save LA Air Force Base and Our Jobs, which he then shortened to the acronym CUSLA AF BOAJ. Yeah, that'll stick, Bill. Originally, he wanted to go with just Save Our Base, or SOB, and I told him that wasn't going to work either. So acronyms are not his forte, but he's a quick learner. Bill also sits on the advisory board positions with companies in greater Los Angeles area as well as around the country. He and his wife, Lori, live on East Oak Avenue across from Center Street School. Bill lives on a hill. That makes him a hillbilly. They have 3 children, 3 boys, William, Jonathan, and Nicholas. He believes one is going to be an entrepreneurial engineer, a chip off the old block. The other, a doctor, fingers crossed. I hope you mean yours and not his, because I don't want a doctor that crosses his fingers. Hope this will work. And the other, an LA Galaxy soccer player, definitely not a chip off the old block. Running for re-election as Re-elect Bill El Segundo, or the acronym REBEL. Please give a warm welcome to El Segundo Mayor Bill Fisher.
Thank you. Joe. I was really nervous when I heard Joe was going to introduce me. Now I'm okay, that's good. I was really nervous when I heard Joe was going to introduce me because you just never know what Joe's going to do. But thank you, Joe, for that nice introduction. Good afternoon, and it's great to see everybody here. I hope you all enjoyed your lunch. First of all, I want to thank everyone for attending and being here. I want to thank all the table sponsors. If it wasn't for you, this event would not occur. I also want to thank the El Segundo Chamber of Commerce for their continued leadership and everything you do for our business community in our city. Sandy Jacobs, thank you. Marcia Hansen. Marcia was here, I think, probably all day yesterday working on this thing. Marcia, where are you? Thank you, Marcia, for your work with the Chamber and everything you do. And thanks to the Executive Board for your time and dedication to this community. And thanks to the County of Los Angeles, Steve, for this great facility here. I know you wanted a little... last time I was here, we did the chamber installation. And it was such a great place. It's just nice to be back at the beach. So, and it's a great view. I want to thank my colleagues on the council for all your work you do for the city, to Mayor Pro Tem Jacobson, where you... Carl, right there. Thank you, Carl, for all the work you do and your steadfast support of our city and all the time you put in for the city. To Councilmember Suzanne Fuentes. Suzanne, thank you. Also to Dave Atkinson. Dave, where are you? Thank you so much, sir, for all your work. And Marie Fellhauer. Thank you, Marie. It's important that we have a collaborative effort on council. And even though we may have differences of opinion, we get to the same end point, which is making El Segundo better. To our city manager, Greg Carpenter. Greg, thank you for all your work and your support of all the things that we ask you to do. And to all the staff of the city, thank you for making El Segundo your priority. Finally, I want to thank one other person in my life. And she doesn't know I'm going to thank her, but thank you, Lori, for taking care of our family, for taking care of our 3 boys, and for taking care of me. And I know that's not an easy one. So, thank you for being here today. She usually doesn't come out to events like this, but I asked her to. So it's great to have you here with us. Please. We are an interesting city. As Joe had said, we have more Fortune 500 companies within our borders than any other place in San Francisco. Great companies like Mattel and Chevron. We have high-tech companies in our midst like Boeing, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, and of course, LA Air Force Base, an aerospace corporation, who provide for the national defense of our country. Right here in El Segundo, we have entities that provide for the national defense of our country. And most people don't know that. Most people don't know that that's what goes on here at El Segundo. And we also have companies like Popcornopolis, a Smoky Hollow manufacturer of gourmet popcorn. They are a marketing dynamo, and they can be found in places like Staples Center, Dodger Stadium, Costco, Gelson's, Macy's, and their own retail shops, which the flagship one is in Universal Studios Hollywood. They're best known for their iconic red cone package, if you've seen it, and irresistible flavors like zebra popcorn, which is caramel corn with a white and dark chocolate drizzled on it. Have we had dessert yet? Are we getting dessert? Where is Popcornopolis? Where are you guys? They're right over there in the back. Yeah. A great little startup company that's doing great things in El Segundo and putting El Segundo on the map. You know what? You guys need to open a store in downtown on Main Street, please. Okay? All right. Then there's Millennium Space Systems. They bring affordable and reliable solutions to the most demanding military, national security, and civil space users. Their customer portfolio includes NASA, Department of Defense, and commercial space sponsors. And then we have AIM Publishing Software. AIM Publishing, a publishing powerhouse. AIM stands for Active Interest Media. Is Skip here? Is Skip here? He was going to make it. Okay. Skip Zimbalist was the CFO of Times Mirror, and he came to El Segundo and he started AIM, Active Interest Media, which is a company in El Segundo that publishes 60 magazines across the nation. Magazines from health, sports, home improvement. They do American Cowboy to magazines like Yachts International to Backpacker Magazine, right here in El Segundo. As you look at the different types of businesses that are in El Segundo, it's quite amazing. One other thing, Beyond Meat is another company that's in El Segundo. And they're a company that is high-tech, but in the food industry, breaking the barrier to provide chicken and meat-like foods made completely from vegetables. And they are in Whole Foods nationwide. El Segundo is a place where high-tech meets the eclectic, where big business thrives along with the small. Looking at the growth in Smoky Hollow alone, that's the area between El Segundo Boulevard and Grand, west of Sepulveda, the promise of the Urban Land Institute said this is the most exciting area in LA County, providing creative office space and startups and small businesses, just as we talked about. If you are starting a business in LA County or growing a small one, you need to be in Smoky Hollow. That's the place to be. And El Segundo, just in general, it's a beautiful little town, charming and protected residential area, our own fire and police department, multiple school systems, offering the best in public and private education, with simple pleasures in El Segundo, like no parking meters, wide streets that close up at 7 p.m., just quiet and easy, with an approachable and reachable city departments, with a small town attitude of slow down, come on in, sit down, and take your shoes off. While all the time, a juggernaut of incredible and diverse business activity is happening right under the surface. This is El Segundo. So looking back at the last year, what did we experience? In the community, we saw the school district continue to make us proud. El Segundo Unified was ranked in the top 10 academic performance index for unified school districts in Los Angeles County. Center Street Elementary was named a Scholar Honor Roll school. Our high school graduating seniors, out of our high school graduating seniors, 56 of them were with GPAs over 4.0. On extracurricular and athletics side of our school, we had our high school band that won numerous awards, including second place in the state competition. The high school choir that we just heard from traveled the world and played at the London Olympics. And our high school football team played in the CIF championship game for the first time in school history. And our 13-year-old Babe Ruth Little League team won the National World Series Championship. And we had a parade down Main Street for them 3 days later. Thank you all for representing El Segundo nationally and around the world so well. We should all thank the Education Foundation, the PTAs, and all the volunteers in our city for doing what they do. This would not be happening if it wasn't for them. Finally, thanks to Jeff Yantz, our superintendent, for his leadership and all his work in the past years. Good luck, Jeff, on all your endeavors, and you will be missed. Also, good news for residents in our city. Home values are increasing. 2013 ended with 9.1% increase in sales prices. This alone is a huge mark and a great sign of a continuous economic recovery. In the area of business development, 2013 was an active year of both planning, construction, and opening of new businesses. In Smoky Hollow and downtown, these include Beyond Meats, Tyler Surfboards, the 99-cent store, and the expanded South Bay Baseball Academy, and El Segundo Brewing Company. In Smoky Hollow, we welcome Caban Resources. The USDA agricultural facility was open. and an expanded Popcornopolis. We saw our power plant, NRG, restart and start with state-of-the-art, environmentally clean, and superior generators, which will provide much-needed power to the region. On the east side of town, we welcome Stamps.com to a brand-new, beautiful facility. Millennium Space Systems, Grimaldi's, Chase Bank, Farmer Boys. We saw continued expansion and renovation of the Boeing satellite, including a 25,000 square foot expansion of their buildings at 1700 East Imperial, and the acquisition and renovation of the buildings at the corner of Imperial Highway and Selby. DirecTV doubled its space in 3 high-rise buildings totaling 630,000 square feet and signed a long-term lease. They are staying in town, and they are a great community partner. In the area of infrastructure, after a long effort with many players and lots of assistance from the county and Chevron, we completed and opened El Segundo Beach lifeguard and restrooms, significantly improving the facilities at our beach and providing a home for our junior lifeguards. In another project, we completed one of the worst streets in our city, Aviation Boulevard. Also, Maple Avenue on the east side of town was a horrible example of bad drainage and problems. Maple Avenue was repaved, re-landscaped beautifully to better serve the commuters in that area and the entire area. And finally, we have bicycle racks through downtown that support really a healthy lifestyle and go toward the South Bay Master Plan, the South Bay Bicycle Master Plan. As far as for City Hall, 2013 was a challenging year full of negotiations and significant decisions. We began the year already in negotiations with Chevron, Los Angeles World Airports, the Wiseburn School District, and Topgolf Center Cal. I'm glad to say that all of these issues have been resolved by hard work from all parties. In the case of Chevron, we worked closely with them to develop an agreement that fills a large part of the puzzle to our financial future. Thank you, Chevron. Regarding LAX, they have undertaken one of the most ambitious construction programs in history. Throughout this, we have worked closely and collaboratively with them to assure that the concerns of El Segundo residents are addressed with respect to noise mitigation, early turn prevention, traffic improvements, and balance between operations on the north and south side of that facility. Thank you, Los Angeles World Airports. With respect to Wiseburns, those discussions honestly didn't start well. We were concerned about financial and employment impacts that would occur with the high school moving into a commercial space, and they were concerned with providing their kids a quality education and first-class facilities that they've been wanting for years. Both sides and all of the issues were incredibly important. We found a mutually beneficial solution which met the district's needs and provided an Olympic aquatics facility that the city has been asking for 20 years. Thank you, Wiseburn, for coming to the table, building our public 54-meter Olympic-sized pool at no cost to the city. Regarding Topgolf, it's not often that someone approaches a city and says, we want to invest $22 million into your city, into your land, create over 100 jobs, and develop an innovative family facility that will be the first one in California and will serve as an amenity to all our businesses, our families, and our residents. It was a long process, and the council sought to achieve the best deal for the city while maintaining a first-class executive golf course and protecting the needs of the folks and groups that use our current facility. This facility will be the ultimate golf facility. It will be the ultimate corporate facility and the ultimate family facility in El Segundo, the South Bay, and frankly, until they build more on the West Coast, the ultimate facility on the West Coast. In 2014, what can we expect for the rest of 2014? The city had some big decisions to make regarding our financial future. I will in a moment be mentioning great new projects coming down the line, coming to El Segundo. But our forecasted budget takes all these projects into account, and we are facing a budget deficit next year. This is not news. It has been well reported and first presented in our planning session 9 months ago. As I mentioned, the Chevron agreement was a critically important component, but the City Council needed to face the hard truth that the world has changed around us. Some of the revenues have not recovered as a result of the economic downturn, and still we have held on during that downturn and maintained services. Other revenues, millions of dollars, are gone forever. At the same time, our expenses that we don't control and are under state mandate have continued to increase. We have acted responsibly during the downturn and over the last 6 years. Just like private enterprise and your businesses, we have cut expenses, cut salaries, and we've cut total cost of employee compensation and benefits to the city by 17.5%. The city workforce is down 20%, from 320 employees before the downturn to 260 total employees today. There's not much more to cut without impacting important services. The voters have a decision regarding this, regarding the future of El Segundo on April 8th. This was a difficult decision for the council, but we unanimously put Measure A on the ballot. And I want to thank the Chamber and the business community for helping and supporting this effort. We asked you for help, and you came back with a proposal that keeps our taxes lower than the surrounding communities and puts you, the business community, paying over 90% of this tax. And the residents' average cost, if it passes, will be $7 to $10 a month. It is incredible to me what a great business community we have here in El Segundo. Always ready to help, always ready to contribute to our city. It is now up to the voters to decide if they are ready as well. In the long term, and under the umbrella of economic development, there is so much more going on. In the area of planning, development, and business attraction. The theme of today is El Segundo by the Sea. And as Joe had mentioned, that was a song that was written 100 years ago and sung by our choir. But why this song and this theme? Well, it has to do where we were 100 years ago and where we are today. In 2008, we went into an unprecedented recession. We all went into it. As mentioned earlier, we cut, and we cut again. Through all of this, we've kept the city running, though we were closed on Fridays. We were 4 to 5 years into the recovery, depending on which economist you talk to. Even then, employment is only half recovered. Why is this so important to El Segundo? Because unlike other cities that rely on property tax that doesn't fluctuate, 85% of our general fund revenue is dependent on business. Our residential property tax in El Segundo covers 2% of our general fund. So in El Segundo, because of our dependency on the business community, if the economy does well, we do well. If the economy does not do well, we do not do well. So as the economy is recovering and businesses make decisions to expand and move, we want them moving here into buildings across Sepulveda left vacant by the downturn in the economy. We want startups to move into Smoky Hollow, and we want venture capital firms to see El Segundo anew for what we have, who we are, and what we have to offer. We have a choice to stand by and see what we gain through the recovery, or to actively and aggressively market our city and encourage business to move and expand here. So again, why this theme of El Segundo by the Sea? It's a song steeped in El Segundo history. It was written at a time, 100 years ago, when it was important to get the message out about El Segundo. It was written when there was but one business here, Standard Oil, that is now Chevron. It was written when Standard Oil was surrounded by a few buildings and a lot of dunes and this wonderful sea. They had a challenge to bring investment and folks to a place that they had great vision and hope for. We have that same challenge today. Since I became mayor and with the support of council, we have moved forward with an economic development initiative, not to change our residential area, but to preserve and protect it and keep it charming and safe. The economic development movement is to fill buildings gone vacant from the recession, to stabilize our economy and our future, to allow organic change to Smoky Hollow from an industrial location to a vibrant, bustling place of new ideas, new technologies, and startups. We have reinvigorated our Economic Development Advisory Council and engaged business. The EDAC committee meets monthly, and I encourage all to come and join in, although I have to mention it's becoming standing room only. That group is really doing great work. We have chosen to act and to move forward, and I am pleased to report that with the unanimous vote of the council, that one very important piece of this pursuit is moving forward with the engagement of the world-class PR firm Palucci, whose offices are in LA and San Francisco. Ladies and gentlemen, we are unknown to businesses outside the area. Santa Monica, Venice, Manhattan Beach, Culver City are all known. They have done a good job with their promotion. This piece of the economic development strategy will promote and tell the wonderful story of El Segundo and our incredible offerings such as high tech, location, part of the South Bay lifestyle, and low cost of doing business here. After all, we won the LAEDC's Most Business Friendly Award, the first one to get the reward. Out of 88 cities in LA County, we got the award of being most business friendly and have been runner-up for that award in the last 2 years. Out of 88 cities, we continue to make a mark. Once others find out about us, they will make the move. At this time, I'd like to make a very important commendation to one of our business partners for their role in our economic development. At our last budget planning session, where we talked about our deficit, our looming deficit in the future, we also talked about 2 items, and they were both about economic development. One was about parking in downtown in Smoky Hollow, which we will be addressing in an upcoming March council meeting. The other was the idea to partner with business to promote economic development. I asked the council and gained consensus at that meeting on this idea. At the end of that meeting, Rod Spackman from Chevron stood up and said they would contribute to the economic development goals of the city. Upon hearing that, Richard Lundquist from Continental Development chimed in as well with a substantial gift. A few months later, Chevron approached the city with a grant opportunity that they believed the city could qualify for. This commendation is to Chevron for their continued and tireless support of our city in all aspects, and specifically for the $200,000 in grant funds they have made available to go forward with our economic development goals. At this time, I'd like to read the commendation and bring Frank Semantic, Rod Spackman, and Lily Craig forward. Please come up. This commendation reads, I will have to use this here. This commendation reads, Economic Development Partner of the Year. The City of El Segundo would like to take a special moment to thank Chevron for their partnership in economic development. Chevron recognized the city's needs and has shown tremendous leadership by approving the city's Social Investment Partnership Grant application, thereby making it possible for the City of El Segundo to move forward with its economic development efforts. The $200,000 grant and partnership directly correlates with the city's economic development program mission to retain and expand El Segundo business space through business diversification, utilizing pro-business climate, which will add jobs and economic stability to El Segundo and the region. Chevron's generous financial contributions to the city are great. This grant and their continued support in all areas of our city is second to none. Now, therefore, on this 27th day of February 2014, the mayor and the members of the city council, the City of El Segundo, California, hereby commend and thank Chevron, the City of El Segundo's Economic Development Partner of the Year, for their generous support over the years, their partnership with the City of El Segundo, and the economic development funds that they brought to our city. Thank you, guys. Take a picture. From small gains to large, I want to speak of what's up for 2014. In downtown, Petros Cafe, owned by an El Segundo resident, will be opening next month in the former Blockbuster video space. The city's reviewing plans for additional public parking at various locations throughout downtown. And the old Smoky Hollow Moonshine Company will be taking over the post office building adjacent to Smoky Hollow. And speaking of Smoky Hollow, its transformation continues, and the city is looking at ways to enable, promote, and accelerate the process, in turn, which will create jobs, property improvements, and increase business for downtown shops and restaurants. Among the things the city can do is to simplify codes in this area, look at parking solutions, and market and promote the areas As far as development, Mar Ventures recently completed a beautiful building condominium project at the corner of Grand and Kansas. They are undertaking the remodel of the worst-looking building on Grand at 1222 Grand And the area and the new beautiful creative space there will be incredible. East of Sepulveda, there is a race to market. There's a race to market on a number of formerly vacant office buildings along Aviation in the Utah Track. NSB Properties, the company that brought us Time Warner's sports broadcasting facility, are in the process of renovating 246,000 square feet to bring additional creative office space to that area. And Time Warner, congratulations on being awarded the Dodgers broadcasting contract, and we hope that involves additional expansion and employment in El Segundo. In a similar way, Invesco Properties, who are in the process of redevelopment of 4 buildings with approximately 300,000 square feet of currently almost empty office space along Park Place and Apollo Street, adjacent to ArcLight movie theaters. That's underway. We should also welcome Marshall Properties, who are undertaking a renovation of the former CSC and Rhythm and Hughes building. We should also welcome Bixby Ranch Company, who are in the process of a 112,000 square foot building renovation at the corner of El Segundo Boulevard and Continental across from Raytheon. Speaking of Raytheon, the council will be reviewing their new master plan later that will be proposing a $1.8 million square feet development of office, industrial, and retail space on their property, and extension of Nash Street all the way through the property to connect to Sepulveda and Plaza El Segundo, improving our traffic network. In the area of new office construction, there is also activity. The largest being Mar Ventures and Continental is developing Elevon, and it's under construction at Campus El Segundo right now. This is a 217 square foot campus of office buildings organized around active outdoor spaces, and which matters because we are attracting a demographic that wants that kind of space. Thanks to Continental and Mar Ventures for finally putting that land to use. Similarly, across the street, Live Oak Properties company has proposed a 90,000 square foot creative office space on what was formerly the UCLA wind tunnel site at Mariposa and Selby Street. In April, the City Council will be reviewing zoning proposals for a 190-room hotel at 888 Sepulveda. We will also welcome the Rubicon Company Group, the new owners of the Hacienda Hotel. We look forward to seeing your plans to modernize that hotel, which is an institution in our city. We continue to be the hub for data centers and high technology. Both Equinix and T5 data centers currently have approvals for expansion that they will substantially increase their capacity with. These projects represent 1 million square feet of renovation in our city. If you take into account the Raytheon proposal, that's 3 million square feet. But it's mostly renovation of empty buildings. What it really represents, and this is the good news, this is the great news, is the risk these firms are willing to spend and take in El Segundo. And we must do our part as a city to support and promote them and allow them to take this risk. And I'll be talking about that in a moment. We will also be welcoming very high technology companies. Among those, Net Data Centers, formerly Net2Easy, to 898 Sepulveda building in the coming months. Net2Easy provides data center support, and it's a great coup to have them move into our city. Another high technology company. On the topic of development, I need to talk to you a moment about Federal Realty and The Point at Sepulveda and Rosecrans. This 119,000 square foot lifestyle center is currently on schedule for completion in spring of next year. It will provide upscale shops, restaurants, and office space organized around active outdoor spaces and amenities. This project will transform what was a blighted entry to our city to a project that we will be proud of, create jobs, and provide a place to eat, shop, and simply enjoy. At our last State of the City, I spoke of economic development, and I said the city needs to focus on 5 things. That we must continue to diversify our business economy with different businesses and bring those folks in. We are doing just that. We must cultivate job growth, particularly attracting businesses with high wage earning positions. We are doing that. We must refine and streamline more appropriate city rules, ordinances, plans, and processes to promote and expedite quality development in our city, and especially in the Smoky Hollow area, and we are doing that. We must approve long-range development plans for vacant and underutilized properties so that they can more quickly be developed as the economy recovers, and we are doing that. We must do infrastructure improvements to promote development and serve the community, and we are doing that. Finally, we must keep El Segundo residential area safe, charming, and a wonderful place to raise your family and live. And we are doing that. El Segundo is a great place to live and work. Speaking for myself, and I believe for the entire City Council, we are proud and humbled to contribute to our city. This is our home, and we love El Segundo. I'm thankful to all of you and your sense of community and your collaboration and looking at opportunities, finding solutions, and assessing risk, making decisions, and moving forward. We should all be proud of the work we do together, our residents, our business community, and our community as a whole. Thank you for helping make El Segundo the best it can be. Thank you very much.